platform and both are muted. Well, praise be to Allah. Well, let us rise upon the seven again and give praises to the great God Allah, our Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal. We give honors to our Grand National Emblem, National Flag, Divine Constitution and bylaws, and honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything that our holy prophet brought to make us a nation. I want to give honors to all of our Moorish kin that is on the manifest tonight and has come to join us in our Moorish perspectives. I'm your host instructor, Dr. Shahid Imani Al-Mohadi Shabazz El, and my ancient Comedian high name being the same is Dr. Shedawar Minty Al-Mohajid Shepsuel. And I come forth before you with yet another Moorish perspectives. We want to give honors to all of our Moorish kin on the manifest for all that you do, all that you have done, and all that you will do. Praise be to Allah, Islamism without the schism. Where would we be without our Moorish kin? I want to give honors to all and each and every one of our family, that has returned, bearing that name of faithful. Those who have returned to demonstrate what it means to be the higher self, and it's just an honor to be here in this new era in time because there's great work to be done, a grand drawing. And we are here to get the job done. We give it praises to the great God Allah and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet for being able to be here in this new era in time. So it's just an honor, family. It's going to be a grand drawing tonight. And we most definitely have a powerful measure to bring to our family as we always do. And tonight's subject is most definitely coming from our Moorish Holy Quran. Depending on which one you have, you may have Ayah 18 or Ayah 19. But nevertheless, we're dealing with our chapter, dealing with the third adept degree or the third brotherhood test, which we're dealing with faith. And that's not 19, that is 18 par himself. But anyway, it says the good that man, it says, for other men shall do becomes a ladder strong on which the soul may climb to wealth and power and fame of Allah's own kind that cannot pass away. And we understand that, when you deal with the plane of things made manifest, what we have been taught, is wealth is really overrated. Because the prophet said himself, he said there will come a time when you can place $20, or find a $20 bill in the street and it will have no value. You see, absolute, non grata, so to speak. I'm just speaking in general. There will come this special time. So being that we are here and in this new era and time, we have been called forth, bearing the name of faithful, remaining grateful, demonstrating that which is in the higher self. It don't get no greater than this. This is where the generational wealth come into play at. This is where our gross national product comes into play at. And that is wisdom in and of itself. So once we have the wisdom, then we have the know-how or the ability to make success work for us, so to speak, or make that which will make us successful. Therefore, we may allow, our people to also be able to earn, benefit in that success. Once we're able to demonstrate like that right there, then that means you have to tap into the God self and recognize that the supreme treasure chest or the most divine expression of, the treasures come from the great God Allah. So when we go back to this measure and we say the good that man for other men shall do becomes a ladder strong, let us think about this. We know the nature of a ladder. A ladder allows us to get in places that we are not normally able to reach from the direct approach and so forth and so on. So you end up having to climb the ladder. how many other rungs it take to get high as you may need to get, and they cap off at a certain level. And I don't really think too many people want to get on, a ladder, even beyond 40 foot. I've been on a 40-foot ladder before. They have made some either higher than that. I think they got some 60-foot ladders, if I ain't mistaken, and maybe even higher than that. What about the ones that's connected to a structure and you climb all the way up? That's a lot of climbing, to have to look down. And that's really where the conflict come out. Imagine, doing that right. Can you imagine working 4-5 hours, on a ladder? And then you got to get down and move the ladder. And, that's for my family that deal with a lot of construction work or painting or whatever it is you may do. But we making that applicable. We know our people don't like ladders. That's another thing. I remember one time, this has become so prevalent and widely known to where I went to go to a job interview. And one say, man, no, not trying to be funny, but I know most black people scared of height. You know what I mean? So, you ain't able to get up there. I ain't gonna be able to use you, at that time. I'm Moorish American now, so we ain't paying no attention to the classification. It ain't what they call you, what you answer to. But I told that one, I say, man, I say, where you ladder at? And that wasn't to prove nothing to one, cause I'm so busy into trying to deal with the manifest wealth. I had already passed that particular test. As far as dealing with heights, try getting on a lift that go 135 feet in the air. And the only way that you can really get up there to where you at, because it's so high, even though the structure ain't directly 135 feet, you got to go all the way up that high, in order to balance the lift. Because if you try to go up, at a pace, the lift will turn over. So you literally got to take this lift straight up and go all the way up in the air and then raise the lift down. And then imagine it bouncing back and forth, 135 feet in the air. Imagine being on a swing stage, so to speak, where it's just hanging from the building. And you got to put it together in the air. And then you got to put it over the edge of the building. Yeah, Brother Shaheed done did all of that. So, a ladder don't pretty much scare me too much. You know what I mean? But what I will say is it's also, a thing when you're dealing with certain environment like that, you don't want to get too comfortable neither, because that's when the accidents happen, and so nevertheless, again, and I bear witness to the fact that a lot of our people don't like heights. That's true for the matter. They ain't going no further than probably 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, 7 feet if they lucky. But they ain't too big about getting up on top of nothing. So we can't have that mentality, most definitely when it comes to being able to climb, of a 12-step ladder salvation. Because if you have fear in climbing that special ladder and you remain at the bottom, well, ain't nothing wrong with understanding sincerity as the first degree. We understand the scroll, of sincerity was even given through the degrees, and nothing wrong with being there, but you got to really ascend the 12 steps, and I'm talking about the 7-step ladder, because those are steps too, as well as our 12-step ladder, which deal with obedience, and obedience, has to do with how well we are sincere. So whether you're dealing with the 7-step or the 12-step ladder, you got some climbing to do. And you ain't gonna get up there being scared, or being dismayed. So oh my goodness, I ain't finna go up. You got to, you got to get with the business, so to speak. And so when it comes down to dealing with the good that we do for other men or women, for our family, this too becomes a ladder strong again by which one is able to climb. When we get into what we call the speculative, we heard our family use that measure, aspect of what we talk about. An abstract example of a ladder that's being used. You yourself in your ways, your acts, and your deeds, You know, they become the ladder by which everyone else is able to climb. That's a powerful demonstration. You know, the good that you did, this is somewhat similar to the measure when you hear one say, we stand upon the shoulder of giants. You see, that good that one has done, the precedent that one has set, the foundation that one has laid, becomes a ladder strong by which you are able to get up into the heights of divinity, basically. In this case, notice it says the good that men, you know, are able to do for other men. And this is not limited just to the brothers. And that's why we included our goddesses and queens as well. You see what I'm saying? Or we can even go into this aspect. The good that, right, Moorish American nationals for other Moorish American nationals shall do becomes a ladder strong. You see, the more that we aid and assist each other in being able to climb up out of the muck and the mire, climb up out of the lower self, climb up out, you know, of a fallen state, the more that we do this, family, the greater, you know, everything else manifests. So, you know, it's just a powerful demonstration, family. And we encourage you to really pay attention to this ladder that we're talking about here. You know, there are tools that are used here all throughout our lessons. And a lot of time when they resurface, we don't really pay attention. You know, now this can be a 3-step ladder. We got 2 of them. We got a couple of 3-step ladders. This can be a 7-step or a 12-step ladder. In fact, when you deal with ladders, you're talking about a stairway into a heavenly realm when you come to dealing with these lessons. You know, even in the Grand Quran, they have what they call surahs. And people don't know, actually, surah, by definition, means degrees. And also, surah means ladder. Surah also means stairway to heaven. You see? So keep that in mind as well. So it says the good that man for other men, or Moorish American nationals, do for each other, it becomes a ladder, reciprocal help and mutual obligations, on which the soul may climb to wealth, power, fame, while power and fame of Allah's own, that cannot pass away. Now, what does this have to do with the soul being able to climb into the wealth? We say, well, the soul is immaterial. You know, it has to do with his actions of thinking, willing, reason, understanding. Remember, what does that have to do with dealing with wealth? This lets you know the type of wealth that we are dealing with. It's not the same as the wealth that we normally deal with on the plane of things made manifest that we may try to heap up or get ourselves some of, you know, or come into acquiring, so to speak. This is dealing with the soul actions. How rich are you in your thinking? How rich are you in your willing? How rich are you in your understanding, remembrance? This is the question that we have to ask, because remember, the gifts of the understanding are the treasures of Allah. And that treasure box is above the neck, as we always say. And dealing with this measure, climbing into this is special because you got to get up into the heights to get above the neck, right? Into that treasury, our treasure box. You see, it says on which the soul may climb to wealth and power and fame. It didn't say that the individual may climb into wealth, power, and fame. It said that the soul may climb into wealth, power, and the fame of Allah, of Allah's own kind. That means that this wealth is nothing like that you will ever even try to experience on the plane of things made manifest, because this is of Allah's own kind. He has no need for earthly wealth. He has no need for earthly riches. You see, but his wealth and his riches have no ending. You know, you can't mar anything that deal with the Most High, you know, his credit. The next thing you know, take wealth. You can't make the great God Allah declare bankruptcy. You can't make the great God Allah have to give up his savings and give away, you know, things on the plane of things made manifest, like, you know, the world would have one demonstrate. You cannot deplete the wealth of Allah. And his goal is greater than the gold that you can find on the plane of things made manifest. His silver is greater than the silver that you can find on the plane of things made manifest. Even though these things are precious metals to us, these things are nothing in the eyes of the great God Allah. They have no bearing, on what is beyond this special realm. You see? But nevertheless, one may fall in vibration when it comes to dealing with the thought into this realm and thinking that this is all there is. And that's why it was said in the last ayat we demonstrated last week, give me the poverty of men, the consciousness of duty done in love, the approbation of Allah, and I will be content. Give me the poverty. You see? In other words, one becomes content. And then one is always, in all actuality, enriched. One always has something basically of worth when it comes to that special demonstration. Remember, we are told to dig beneath the rocky soils. When you go into the soils of the ancient motherland, Africa, diamonds all in the earth, so much so that there has been wars and murder, and everything else to where, they have become termed in the coin phrase of blood diamonds. You see? This is something else here, right? This ain't got nothing to do with just being good, though, and doing good. A lot of people don't know when you deal with this aspect of doing good, and I talked about this a few times, that this has to do with the truest aspect of elevation when it comes to the degrees of unfoldment into what a lot of people know as the way of life when they hear Islam. Or the Arabs say Muslim. But what they don't know is that Muslim is just the first degree. And then you go into Mu'min, which means a true believer. In order to be a true believer, you have to be sincere. You have to be pure in heart. You have to have a clean heart and a pure mind to be Mu'min, a true believer, right? But belief is one degree in our three-step ladder. Faith is another, and then we come into fruition. But we know on the other three-step ladder, faith, hope, and love is the degree. So faith is at the first degree on one ladder and the second degree of another ladder. But when you go to the highest state of what can be attained when it comes to dealing with faith and going beyond that of just being a true believer, you come into fruition, and they call this mushinun, a doer of good deeds. So this is the highest degree that one can really obtain according to even the Grand Quran. But you didn't hear them running around here saying, the religion of Mushinun, the religion of Mu'minun. No, they took the first degree and say, oh, this one is a Muslim. You never hear them say this one is a Mu'min. They use it every now and then, but you never really hear it being pushed as you hear the word Muslim being pushed. So the highest degree is to become a doer of good deeds. And it's the same thing when you deal with the 3 degrees as it relates to, what they call Islam, Imam, and Ihsan. In Islam, Imam, and Ihsan, these are 3 degrees. This is what the angel Jibril taught Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah. After having taken him on those 7 degrees of unfoldment, that became his 7-step ladder, those 7 stages of heaven that he went through. You see? So he had to climb a ladder, and this ladder is always within oneself. So when we are able to climb this special ladder, and it's a representation or personify as our works, then again, we make those who come behind us, our successors, so to speak, successful, full of success, filled with success, and they will reap the benefits as a result of being able to tap into that wealth. You see, it's not that one seeks wealth, power, and fame. Allah has a different type, again, we say, of wealth. And the same thing has to do with his power. The power of Allah, is very much more transcending, so to speak, than when it comes to dealing with the power of man. In fact, the power of the great God Allah makes the power of man look like poverty. No, it don't make it look. We're going to say it is poverty compared to the power of Allah. And to be honest with you, if we were to get into some linguistic, power, just looking at the word itself, if you were to look at it deeply, you can see it's really not far from, poverty. Because if you take the W, which in, linguistics, it's interchangeable with the V. So if you take that and you place, the W where the V is in poverty, and you drop the T and the Y, then what do you have? An illusion of power, and what power really is. So what you consider is powerful or powerful or full of power or being in power is poverty compared to divine wealth and divine riches, divine understanding. You see? This is a powerful demonstration, Moorish King. And we ain't got to get into the aspects of fame. We see a lot of the prophets are very famous because their names are still being spoken of now. We're still being inspired by the works that they did. This is how we know this is just a philosophy. We know this is not just philosophy because we've seen this in action already. We've seen the works, that most of the prophets have done, especially those who came out of Kemet, and how their particular lives have become inspiration to people who have come hundreds of and thousands of years later, generations later. We see how it is that many have benefited. So this is how they have become a ladder strong. Yeah, they have. Prophet Yusuf or Joseph, he became a ladder strong to his people. Even though they rejected him, tossed him in a well, right? Who else? Abraham, he became a ladder strong to his people during the time he was there. Prophet Musa, alayhi salam, or Moses, as they like to call it, he too became a ladder strong, upon which his people, even some of them was hard-headed, mean, stiff-necked, and rebellious, just like some of our people in this do every time. You see? Oh, man. Oh, yeah, we got to tell it. We got to talk about it more. We got to talk about it. It's mandatory. So even when we go a little further with this demonstration, all the way up to Yehoshua, yes, Yehoshua was indeed a ladder strong for those who was the chosen, or that few who truly believed in what it was that he brought to the manifest. Not only him, but what about, again, Muhammad ibn Abdullah? Every prophet, in essence, is pretty much a ladder strong when it comes to their people. So when we say, our holy prophet is Yehoshua come again, our brother Marcus Mosai Garvey L, is the second coming of Yahya, John the Baptist, the harbinger. Well, there you have it. Because both of these men were also those who demonstrate a work that became a ladder strong that we are climbing, we are utilizing right now. Not only them, but those who have come from them. Those who are mentioned and those who have not been mentioned. All, whether directly or indirectly, have become ladder strong on which souls may climb. Let's get back into the soul actions again. Well, what about when it comes down to dealing with then us? We too have the ability to do the same thing. We have the ability to become ladder strong upon which the generations, the third and the fourth, the young and not yet born, may be able to climb upon this special ladder into the generational wealth and the everlasting power that trumps poverty. And I didn't mean Donald Trump either. And any type of fame that men can give. In other words, the fame of Allah is that which is everlasting because it coexists with the everlasting gospel of Allah. You see? So the works that you do hundreds of years after you're gone will still be spoken of. See, that's how you become immortal. That's how you live forever. That's how you obtain everlasting life. And through that inspiration, that God power being passed down from one God man, from one God woman, from those who are children of the great God Allah, children of the great God Allah. You know, those who are doing this become ladder strong for those who are yet to come. And they can climb into their highest heights. They can reach the peak of their divinity. And that is true wealth, family. You see? Man, that's a powerful demonstration. Notice a few ayahs back when it was speaking, you know, before, well, after actually the one came in, you know, to try to make one waver. Ayah, you know, 13 and 14, and say, well, for 40 days, the higher wrestled with the lower self. And then the fight was on. And it says in ayah 14, faith rose triumphant. Unbelief was not. Ambition covered up his face. Notice it says ambition covered up his face. King Ambition, right? King Ambition has a wife too, Queen Inconstancy, and they got some children too. But we ain't getting out, should I say, some kids. Because children don't act crazy. Got to be some young goats that's running around there acting, you know, crazy, so to speak. But anyway, it says ambition covered up his face and fled away. And Yehoshua said, the wealth, the honor, and the fame of earth are but baubles of the hour. You see? And so we have been taught to chase those things, you know, but all those things will be buried with us when we leave. And in fact, you really won't be buried because you can't take none of it with you, really. And even if you put it in the grave, it still ain't going beyond there till somebody dig it up, you know, maybe 100, you know, 1,000 years later, talking about they done found some artifacts. Oh, man. So, yeah, this is a powerful demonstration, family, when you look at it from this special measure. You know, and you understand that it is all about being good and doing good. This is what strengthens a nation. You see? This is what strengthens a nation. So it's just a powerful demonstration, family. You know, and we always like to come forth and give our family measures to make them think. You know, because thought is the cause of it all. Thought is the cause of the fall. You see? In Islam, we see we got some family in here. I want to give honors to all of our family, our brother Jay. I want to give honors to our family, Noble Bryan, Janet Woden Bay. You know, brother Marvin, Nathaniel Evers Bay. I want to give honors to our brother Henry Galloway II, Ephraim El Yassin. We give honors to the brother. You know, Islam and gratitude to you. Sister Lisa Nicole Motor Bayel. Brother Zab the Sigma. Brother Seth Smith Bay. Our brother Al Quamar Marquise L. Want to give honors to you as well. Add our brother Marvin Edwards Bay to the screen. I like that, brother. Al Kamar asked a question, and it is good and worthy to answer this question right here. He said, why Muslims don't understand that Islam come from Hagar, the Egyptian? Oh, they understand, brother. You know, the problem is, you know, because they have, you know, that you got to acknowledge who your dad is, you know, and they kind of upset, you know, they have some issues or whatever the case may be. Some mama or father issues, so to speak, and they don't want to admit where they come from. Everybody know who they are. Everybody know who kids, you know, they is. No, we messing with the Moors. Everybody know who children they are. Everybody know that the Arabs are the seeds that come straight from Hajar, you know, which is Hagar in the biblical, Heteru in all actuality. You know, that's really the essence of that matter. And our brother here said, Zob Sigma said, Moors is not a religion. You know, and you are correct, my brother. Moors is not a religion. You know, I'm glad you can see that. We've been trying to teach our people that, you know, right now for over, man, it's been a minute. You know, I know our chairman been trying to teach our people Moors is not a religion for over 50 years. And they still ain't got it yet. You know, so that's a valid question. You know, a rather valid statement. And I'm looking at, where did you get your information? Well, from Prophet Noble Drew Ali, via through my Grand National Chairman, Dr. Akanak and Pert M. Heru Tutankhamun Bay. The writer of The Exhuming of a Nation. You should get that book too, brother, by the way. Yes, sir. And peace and love. We got another more just checked in. Ross Starr Foundation of the Sun. Peace and love, more. Sister Katel Lorraine Foyer, honors to you, goddess and queen. Okay, the elder Taj Tariq Bey has videos up. Hey, brother, man will find himself where he can solve his problems best. And we know we finna get this person up here, out here, who done put this up in here. We ain't gonna put you in time out. We gonna block you. You know, putting that garbage up in here. So let us keep moving on. And yeah, just stay tuned in, Zob the Sigma, and you'll get the grand drawing, because we getting ready to open up the floor and get ready to hear from our Moorish kin. But what we're talking about right now, my brother, that the good that men do for other men are the good that Moorish American nationals do for other Moorish American nationals. It becomes a ladder strong on which the soul may climb the well. You see? So all of us have a work that we are called to do. The problem is most of us, it's crazy how most of our people claim or strive to be entrepreneurs and still end up placing their platforms on the same plantation that enslaved them in the first place. How you gonna say you're a free man and you still subject to somebody else's land? How you gonna say you free? You know, you own this and you own that. And every time somebody say, I say you do it the way I do it, even though you own it, you say, right? You got to conform to what it is that they say. Even when it comes to being able to try to exercise your freedom of religion, since our brother mentioned that earlier. They don't even honor that when it comes to the NBC, because that belongs to the European. In other words, property. Property sounds just like poverty too. But that's a whole nother measure. So, I mean, these are some grand drawings when we reflect upon these lessons and we understand life is all about being good and doing good to other people. That's the epitome. That's where everything cap off at. You got to be able to do good for your fellow man, for your brothers and your sisters, your seeds, for your family, yourself, your family, your nation, and your community as a whole. This is what life is about. When we say life is spent to build a temple of perfected man, that life spent to build a temple of perfected man means you are here to spend your life building temples of perfection. But you must first know how to build yourself up as a temple of perfection before you can teach someone else to be such. You can't be what you don't know, and nor can you teach what you don't know. Man, that's a powerful demonstration. Talk Moorish to me. You know, so I just want to give honors to our Moorish kin again, you know, just for dealing with the measure of being good. Because Prophet Noble Drew Ali also, he got a couple of places in there where he said, my good Moors are going to live. He said, you know, I'm going to take my good Moors up on an apparatus. You know, be good Moors. And I pass my high name down to you. I mean, so all of this in and of itself says everything about what it means to be good. If you take one of the O's in good and you drop it, we already know it comes into God. You see? So to be good is really to tap into the God consciousness, your God self, that God essence. That's what being good means. It ain't got nothing to do with, be good because I said so. Be good, man. I'm going to do this to you. Be good. I'll lock your behind up. No. That ain't that the great God Allah don't demonstrate like that. I know some of us have been in this situation, and even when it come down to dealing with the aspects of what we call obey, when they hear that, they go crazy. They think I ain't gonna obey. But when the Europeans say, get over there, I say, I lock your yes up. Oh, yes, sir. Oh, okay, master. And they can be wealthy and do this. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about our brother Kanye West and what he going through right now. Look at it. Our brother, went around in certain ways that kind of stirred up our own community, and they set him up for failure so much. Not our people per se, but those who he was in the bed with, trying to get out the bed with. The brother was doing a lot of good, and he could have been a ladder upon which everybody was able to climb up upon. But our brother lost himself. For what profit man if he gained the world but loseth his whole soul? And if you don't have a soul, then you don't have the ability to think, will, reason, understand, and remember. So guess what that means? Can you imagine that? Because that's somewhat similar to actually being an animal, or something we consider inanimate, even though we know there's no such thing. Everything in creation is animated, whether we know it or not. Everything is vibrating at a particular rate when it comes to dealing with frequency. Even metal has constitution or constituents, and it's alive. Metal. You say, well, brother, how is this so? It rusts, don't it? If it deteriorates, then that means some life got to be somewhere in it. Now, it may not be dealing with the aspect of a spirit, or the creator himself being in the metal. Now, in its original form, that special element, will be guided in regards to dealing with the spirit. But all these other things had to do with what man has made and began to fuse together, trying to play God. You see? Man, this is a powerful demonstration here, family. Just to be able to reflect upon, the measure that we demonstrate. This is one of them demonstrations. So I just encourage our family. What we're saying is that we have to do better, and we have to learn how to be those who aid, assist each other rather than tear each other down. We have to come into the sense of being able to, instead of always got to criticize and tell somebody about how wrong they are, and all this. This is something that our people love to do. We have to get in a state to where we learn to accept our people as they are, embrace them where they are, and take them where they need to go. This is the grand idea that precludes to monotheistic unity and oneness. You see? So I just want to extend the olive branch to all of our people out there who seek to come into a consciousness and know, and not only know, but be what you know. Become a part and parcel of real nation building, where we can build something for ourselves as opposed to waiting on somebody to pass, some handouts to us. You see? So this is a powerful demonstration. I want to open up the floor at this time, though. This is a grand drawing because I want to make sure I hear from a lot of my family, and a lot of my family participate tonight. So again, our subject title is dealing with, Ayat 18, the good that man do, a man for other men shall do, becomes a ladder strong on which the soul may climb to wealth and power and fame of Allah's own kind that cannot pass away. This is the type of wealth that we see. So Islamism, we always coming upon the 7th. And at this time, we're going to open up the floor so that we can hear from some of our Moorish king. Islam, *6 your phone, Moors. Islam, grand man.
Islam. Dr. Zero Lowry Bay, Vice Chancellor General, South Carolina Consulate. On this day, I rise and give praise to the great God of Allah. Give honor to the Prophet, Noble Ali. Give honor to our theocratic Moorish American government. I give honor to the officials of our government. A special honor to the citizens. Give a special honor to the National Grand Chief. I give honor to all the Moors who speak Catholic. I give honor to all our family who stay alive on Facebook. Peace and love to you all. And in relation to the subject matter, Moore's questionnaire, Prophet Noble says that he asked the question, how does man wrong the law? And the answer is thought, words, and deed. And so you know that the sin lies in the wish and the desire, not the act. A wish and a desire is thought activity. Goes on in one mind. So we harbor negative thoughts against our Moors kin, against anyone born in humanity. Just by having those thoughts, we commit a sin, even though we don't carry those thoughts out physically on a physical plane. But to let you know, Prophet Neutral, let us know my Moors will inclined that all life is thought activity. All things are thought. All things are a manifestation of one great thought. Comes from the great divine source, the great God of Allah. But there's no duality, demarcation, and thought pattern of the great God of Allah. Everything is one. So that demarcation of duality, thoughts, and thought pattern, of humanity, by one, basing themselves, tearing itself away from the oneness of the thoughts of the great God of Allah. Let's know that man is truth and falsehood strangely mixed. So when man, we get these divine lessons brought forth by the Holy Prophet and continue to purify our hearts and mind with love and correct what we need correction we can make, then we can put that falsehood underneath our feet and allow that truth, allow that truth to rule our consciousness, thus linking ourselves back to one is the great God of Allah. Because in Act 3 of the Divine Constitution of North America, he said those searches to put in danger and teach false to his brother and sister on any occasion at all, that may harm his brother and sister because the law is love. So good we can do for other men is constantly purify our hearts and minds with love, and have positive thoughts, positive thinking, because thoughts are more powerful than a bullet. You know what I'm saying? Because even though we may not physically do harm to a person, but just your thoughts, coming from your mind, being transferred to words through your fifth chakra, those thoughts, those words can be very harmful to another person, to their consciousness. So again, it's about the study of the self. That was the Prophet Noble brought us back. We chose to constantly study ourselves. And so, like you said earlier, that's what life is spent to build. Somewhat perfected man. So we had a lesson to do that right here while big credit Moorish American government. Islam, peace, love, and gratitude. Grand class.
In Islam, peace and love and gratitude to you as well, Brother Larry Daniels Bay. Praise be to Allah. Islamism without the schism. All right. Is there any other Moor who would like to come forth and give their portion of the understanding? Islam? Oh man, Moor, we got too much room on here for some crickets to be up here. This is not Disneyland. I know I'm in Florida, but this ain't the Epcot Center. Islam.
This is Brother Lowry Hill, Roman territory of Moorish America. We want to rise first and give praise to the great God of the universe, Allah, honor to our angel, El Sharif Abdul Ali. Giving honor once again to our Moorish American theocratic government, and giving honor to Act 1 and all the citizens of Moorish America. Giving honor to you, National Assistant Grand Chief, Dr. Shedu and Mickey L. Hitchens as well for this Moorish respect. Angel, can you give me the topic or the question on the floor again, Islam?
Islam, brother. Yes, sir. It's the good that a man for other men do, becomes a ladder strong on which the soul may climb to wealth. Islam?
Islam, gratitude for that grand man. Islam. Well, we know that this particular ayat or instruction comes straight out of our circle 7 Quran. And when it comes to the good that one do for other men, when it becomes this ladder strong that the soul must climb, And like our National Assistant like our National Secretary of the State of Morris America demonstrated last night in relationship to this particular drawing, grand man, we know that this ladder is the 12-step ladder, but we know in Morris Science we got 3 ladders. We got the ladder of faith, hope, and love, which is something that every Morris American should stand up on and move in. And then we got the faith, the 3-step ladder of belief, faith, and fruition. But then we got a 12-step ladder, and it reminds me of Ravenna going in search of his object, and he found Yahusha, which was justice, climbing up a 12-step ladder, which is symbolic of our principles as well as our Circle 7 made manifest. Our dead daughter, called the Circle 7 made manifest, he was traveling up this 12-step ladder with these principles that he had in his hand, and we know that the hand is symbolic of the mind. A square, a compass, and an X. To cut away the naughty uses and ungainly parts as well as to build up his character, because we know that Yahushua was born by Canaanite. This was his bloodline. So this tool that we had them in a workshop of the mind is ladder. And when we're talking about this ladder that the soul climb, it's basically our ability to think, reason, understand, remember, as well as will. You know what I'm saying? So we get an opportunity to exercise our 5 senses, the 5 actions of the soul. We climb this 12-step ladder, and it helps us build our salvation at the end of the day. And the prophet let us know that this ladder is also our salvation. And we know that our salvation, when we look at the signs and symbols, is Islamism, which is the old time religion, which is the divine creed of our ancient forefathers. So when I think about it's so many aspects to this grand man, what we do for other men, because our prophet let us know when we honor man, we honor the great God of the universe, and what we do for other men, we do for the great God of the universe. So it reminds me of that brotherhood of life. When the prophet let us know no man live unto himself, that we are all connected by cords, and that cord is the golden cord of love. Because love made every one of us, and we know that there is no contradiction or no madness or no hatred that comes with love at the end of the day. This is the harmonious conditions that the higher self creates, the harmonies of life that breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. So when I think about grand man, this is what we got to do, man. We got to uplift our brothers, and true indeed, what we keep is what we give away, and our responsibility as angels is to give this message away. And this message is life at the end of the day, because the prophet that teach him that the Holy Spirit restored him back to life and harmony. So what we're doing, we breathing truth upon our people, and this is also a matter for us to strengthen our soul, because remember, without a force soldier never knows his strength, and the thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. But we know that wisdom, will, and love basically manifest through our soul, because even the soul remains perfect even in the bosom of a fool. So gratitude for the class angel, and we know that we got a divine ladder that we got to climb, where we climb to the dome of purity and life, where we spend our time building the temple of perfected man. So gratitude for letting me speak, National Assistant Grand Seeking. Gratitude for the grand message, Islam and peace.
In Islam, Brother Larry L., we give honors to you for that grand drawing. Powerful measure. Praise be to Allah. Islamism without the schism. Islam, brother.
Islam. Dr. Larry Daniels, base, South Carolina Consul Agent. First, I rise and give praise and glory to Allah, the most merciful. And I give high honors to his holy and divine prophet, El-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, the last prophet in this new era of time. And I give honors to Act 1 of our divine constitution. And I honor all the Moors that spoke before me, and I honor all those Moors that speak after me. And I honor you, brother. Great class, as always, God man. And I honor all my brothers and sisters online. Peace and blessings, peace and love. Yeah, that was Brother Leroy Lauren Bay First off. And well, brother, you know, we know that. Well, let me read that ayat 19 in our most holy Quran. If you will live a perfect life, give forth your life in service of your kind, and for them, and for the form of life, that men esteem the lower forms of life. Well, you know, brother, like you were saying, that's how you when we become, you know, the message that we're bringing, you know, and others will remember these lessons, because they are the only truth that our people will have, because we know where they at, where we come from, because we're in that same condition. And you know, and when you say when you said that, you know, you will be remembered by your good works, you know, because when we understand that the only thing is real is the truth, and the truth also carry forth high vibrations. You see, so when we understand that everything vibrates, and building the temple of perfected man, and then going forth and building temples, you know, that's teaching. That's the Moors teaching the next Moor, you know, how to everything that the prophet has brought us, you know, because we understand that there's two things in this world: truth and falsehood. And falsehood is that which seems to be true. But the prophet said, if I could just get you to think. And see, when we understand those low vibrations carry with them sickness, disease, and poverty, and hate, and everything that hurts, just like the prophet has taught us. And when the more understand what he had been through, because we all have been somewhere, because we were black. They had called us black, labeled us with labels that we cannot trace to our forefathers. They wrote themselves into history because they controlled the media and the books and everything on our land. So they wrote themselves into our place and took us and wrote us into history as the face of a slave, and themselves as the face of antiquity. So when we understand that thought is the cause of it all, we couldn't get no further until our prophet came, because we believed in these things. Just like we believed that their God, Jesus, was coming out of the cloud to lift us up out of our condition. You see, so in order for the Moors to become, you know, that light that comes from within, because see, all these lessons are already within. The prophet is just bringing them up. You know, he's stirring the pot, you see, and bringing up these things that was down in the depths of the Moors, and the Moors had forgotten who they were and where they come from, because see, everybody came from somewhere, and you can't trace black past slavery, cover African Americans. So when we understand that everything vibrates, and that more, and that perfect life, give forth your life and give our life in service. You see, perfect life put forth in service to lift other men up. And then, you know, when even when the Moor has left off of the physical plane, the truth gonna continue, and you carry the truth from your prophet, from our God, our prophet, on to our people. So that don't end. You see, it will be remembered, because the truth is always there. You know, just wait. It's not going anywhere, and it don't change. Peace and blessing, Islam. Great class, brother.
And peace and blessings. Gratitude more. And yeah, y'all brothers sound just alike. At least y'all starting to sound just alike. Praise be to Allah. That's harmony. All right. And also peace to the brother Tomb 1521 that just tuned in as well. Gratitude, grand man. All right. Is there any other more who would like to come forth and exercise their fire?
Islam, can you hear me? Oh, go ahead.
Okay, we heard Brother Marvin Edwards, baby. We'll get the brother on the call in a minute.
Islam,
Brother Marvin Edwards, baby?
Yes, sir. Gratitude for calling me. Yes, this is Dr. Marvin Edwards Bay out of the Texas Consulate, rising, giving all praise to the great God Allah, giving highest honors to his prophet, our Prophet Noble Drew Ali, El Haj Sharif Abdul Ali. Give honors to our theocratic government, our Moorish American government. Give high honors to Act 1. Give high honors to all of our officials. Give high honors to this class, our Moorish Prospectus class, as well as I give honors to you, Dr. Shedigo Minti Amoheji Sepsiwell, our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, for hosting and instructing this Moorish Prospectus class, as well as I give honors to those that aided in bringing forth this class this evening. I give honor to everything that's Moorish, our flag, our seal, our emblem, our divine constitution, our holy Quran, our book of Ali, our 101s, 102s, our exhuming of a nation, all of our divine revelations. I give honor. Give honor to the forerunner, Dr. Marcus Mosaic Gabriel, as well as I give honor to our ancestors, whose shoulders we stand upon. We are the return of the ancient ones. Very powerful class. And I give honor to all those that gave their measures before me and all that would give their measures after me. The good that man for other men shall do becomes a ladder strong, on which the soul may climb to wealth and power and fame of Allah's own kind that cannot pass away. That's a powerful ayat 18. And and as you were giving your measure, and I was listening, and I was identifying with so much, because when we come into this Moorish American government and we take these lessons that the prophet brought, as he instructed, he brought us everything to save us as a nation. All we got to do is take it and save ourselves. And when we look at the good that man for other men shall do, becoming a ladder strong, we know that's part of the covenant. We know that covenant that we read every night, before we go, that holy covenant of the Asiatic nation. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother has given suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. That our father's house is all of the manifest, all of the soul, and definitely the spirit. And when you separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thine own blood. And as I reflect on that, we know that we had been separated, we had been scattered about, you know what I mean? And to a point to where we can't see each other as brother and sister. We look at others as strangers, as enemies in a lot of instances. All of these demonstrations out here, supposedly trying to aid and assist in uplifting our people, charging for nationality cards. And I ain't gonna try to enumerate all of the things that our brothers are doing out here, but it's keeping us from coming together. It's dividing us even more. But praise Allah for sending us a prophet, for giving us all of the tools that we need. To, like you say, build that ladder strong. Because every time we reach out to our brothers and sisters, you know, trying to, get through that barrier that has been constructed, you know, um, that is the lies and miseducation, all those things that keep us from really seeing ourselves as a pure and clean nation. And that's what we are. We are a pure and clean nation. And the prophet, educated us on that. And so as we, show love, to our people, and we're not talking about that carnal love, you know what I mean? You got to see that finance, you know what I mean? We know we need that to live and on this manifest. But the most important thing is that spirit self, is that God state. So when we come into that God state, what else can be against us? You know, all of our needs will be taken care of. So, but we will be getting back to our native plane, that spirit self. And so, yeah, I mean, this is a very powerful class, and I'm just so grateful to be a part of this divine and national movement. You know what I mean? Because in the divinity is our spirit, and of course, the national is being on this manifest. You know what I mean? And of course, we have that soul so that we can think and reason and understand all those tools that aid us in assisting, while we're here on this manifest and as we ascend into that higher self so that we can be our higher self. And so, yeah, I just want to say gratitude to God, man, for allowing me to speak. Islam and peace.
Oh yeah, and gratitude for the measure, brother. You already know, anytime. Yeah, we definitely love to get that grand drawing coming from on high. Islamism. All right. Who was the other more trying to get in there?
Islam.
Islam, can you hear me?
Okay, Islam, brother. We're gonna get the goddess first. I know I told you I'd let you come. We let the goddess come for the brothers, and then I get you in there, brother. Pardon self.
Islam.
Right. Islam, goddess and queen.
Islam, Dr. Dendra Curtis Bay. I apologize because I know I didn't hear anybody. I thought it was somebody before me, but gratitude, God, man, and I'll keep it short. First, let me rise and give praises to the great God Allah. I am Dr. Dendra Ania Curtis Bay. First, let me rise and give praises to the great God Allah. I give honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to Act One. I give honors to all my government officials, and I give honors to my national Sister Grand Sheik for this wonderful class tonight. And I concur with everything that my Moorish kin has said before me. And I was just listening and meditating on that ayat 18, and you're talking about actually that whole chapter. I tell you that this chapter 29, that Yehoshua, he passes the third brotherhood test. And when you read that whole thing, I mean, it's so powerful. And like he was saying, the lower self is coming and trying to tempt him, excuse me, with the fame and the power and the glory and all the prestige and all things like that. And as I sit here and I think about it, and I concur with everything my Moorish can say, and it goes back. You talk about being a good man, and I think a couple chapters back we even talked about having a good name, and then when I think about it too, it all got to do with the intent of your heart. What are your motives? Because sometimes we can be doing great things out there, but what are your motives? Are you doing it to uplift fallen humanity? Are you really doing it out of love? Are you doing it for the power, for the name, for people to be talking about you like, oh, that goddess, she doing this and she doing that, or she's such a wonderful speaker, or she, just have people like the Lord self was trying to say to Yehoshua, how they'll be bragging off of you and all of that stuff. But what's in your heart? Is your heart really pure? Are you really trying to help the people? Are you trying to take advantage of them? Like God man said before me, you know, there are people out there trying to take advantage of our people, of their not knowing, and trying to sell them things, trying to sell them nationalities or whatnot. And we know that that's not the way. We done been lied to, bamboozled, and run them up enough by the Europeans. We as gods and goddesses, we as the Moorish Americans, we don't do that. We won't take advantage of our sisters and brothers, because we done been taken advantage of enough. They took our nationality away. They took our divine creed away from us, and then tried to tell us that we was the lowest thing on the planet, that we was inferior to them. We done been beat up and enslaved long enough. And so therefore, that's why we have to be the message that we bring. We have to be that love that our people see when we walk out the door. I remember you say, when you walk out that door, you got to be love. When you walking out that door, you got to be them 5 principles walking out that door each and every day, because you are the only God some people will see. And we got to make sure that we are being the message that we bring. And your subject on the floor, the good that man for other men shall do, becomes a ladder strong on which the soul may climb to wealth and power and fame of Allah's own kind that cannot pass away. And you said it earlier. What do it profit a man to gain the whole world and then lose his soul? So when your heart is pure, your heart is clean, and your motives are pure and clean, then your kindness, that will be a strong ladder that you will be able to climb. In other words, we will come together and be one unit and do the things that the great God Allah has called us to do. So gratitude, God man, for letting me share. I just wanted to share that little bit. Islam, and gratitude for the God man, I believe that let me go first. Islam, peace and love.
Islam, peace and love, goddess and queen. And we give honors to you for that drawing. And you know, when we look at that measure, you know, and definitely we ain't never seen nobody sell no nationality up here in this Moorish American government. I wish a member would. But I will say this right here. You know, one thing I know in life, you know, when it come down to it, some of our people, you know, they only know the low vibration of the way, so to speak. You know, they only know what it is to, as you say, try to fleece and swindle, whatever you call it. You know, but the great God Allah, he know what's in the heart. You know, and so he definitely gonna sort it all out when it's said and done. We give honors to you for that, sis. And was the brother that was trying to get in here? Islam, you still on the phone line, brother? Islam, who is that, brother? Eric Miller Bay? Is
yes,
that
sir.
okay?
That's
Okay,
Eric Miller Bay,
okay. Islam,
Moorish
man.
Virgin Islands. Gratitude. First, I rise and give praises to Allah. Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Honors to our Moorish American government. Honors to our Moorish flag, our grand national seal, and emblem. Honors to Act 1. Honors to everything Moorish. Honors to you, our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shedu Amidyam Mohajir Setsuel, for a grand Moorish perspective past this evening. You know, I had 19 honors to all the Moors that spoke before me, grand measures, and all the Moors that will speak after me. You know, the good that man or other men shall do becomes a ladder strong on which the soul may climb to wealth and power and fame of Allah that cannot pass away. Well, you know that the ladder is also used figuratively to mean a way to attain a greater height You know, like you said, surah, the ladder, or stairway to heaven. Also strong. You know, someone who is strong is confident and determined. We must have self-determination in this our Moorish American government, and is not easily influenced or worried by other people. You know, we climb like we're climbing Jacob's ladder. We climb to go upward with gradual or continuous progress. You know, rise, ascend, to go upward or raise oneself, especially by grasping mentally, spiritually. Wealth, our gross national product, is wisdom. And then it stated that there are 5 types of wealth. You know, one is financial, which is money; social, which is relationships; physical health; and there's mental health and spirituality; and then there's time, freedom. You know, power is what a person, power personally, or a person. Let me slow down. What is power in a person? Personal power is the ability to influence people and events. This form of power comes from individual characteristics. These are attributes of our Father God Allah, rather than formal authority. You know, personal power is more of an attitude or state of mind. Then there's fame, the state of being known or talked about by many people, especially on account of notable achievement. You know, you mentioned some powerful influencers who, you know, set that ladder that men may climb. Joseph, Abraham, Muhammad, Abdullah, and Yahushua. However, Daniel, you know, he tells how he became a ladder strong in that cycle age. Related, they interpreted the dream of Nebuchadnezzar the second, the king of Babylon. And in his nightmare dream, the king saw a gigantic statue made of 4 metals, you know, from its head of gold to its feet of iron and clay. And Daniel himself, he explained to the king that the statue represents 4 successive kingdoms beginning with Babylon, while the stone and mountain signified a kingdom established by God, which would never be destroyed nor given to any other people. You know, and to that conclusion, that kingdom is the government of the Moorish American National, a ladder strong for a pure and clean nation of people, and the human families of nations, so that we may rise out of this quagmire or this malhuman drama of, you know, mental slavery and oppression. So, you know, praise Allah for this ayat that you have featured, and gratitude for allowing me to speak, because, you know, wisdom speaks from the highest plane of spirit life. Islam and gratitude.
That's right. Islam and gratitude to you as well, brother. Eric Miller Bay, we give honors to you in everything it is that you will do and all that you have done, you know, for your people. Praise be to Allah. Islamism without the schism. All right. Islam. Is there any other more? There's plenty more time, Moors. Even though we know time never was. It's come on through and breathe that holy breath on your Moorish kin. Islam. Want to give honors to our brother ATOM 161. To Islam, brother. Pardon self. Go ahead.
This is Dr. Bobby today.
Iowa territory. First, I'd like to rise and give all men a praise to Allah. I'm to the prophet. I'm just trying to get credit for everything I work on. So, flag still a divine constitution with angels, my feet, this is the light out to all the ones that spoke before me, all the ones that will speak after. Nice to you for the class. And question on the board says the good, or the topic says the good that a man, the good that man that does for other men shall become a ladder strong, on which the soul inclined to wealth and power and fame of Allah's own kind that cannot pass away. And this is as many of the boys have stated before, that what you do for other men, you do for Allah. It says when you look in the face of man, you see Allah. And so it is not the worship of it's not a worship of the flesh, it's not a worship of the individual, it's a worship of the Creator, knowing that all things are really in a cyclic nature connected to that golden cord of love, everything attached to. So as you do, you know what I'm saying, all the good that you do, fighting injustice, you can bring forth the message. The message of the Lord is brought forth tonight. This is part of the ladder that you're building by giving your understanding, because what you have in your understanding is able to help somebody else take a step up upon that run of the ladder. You know, and it gives people, you know, what they would classify as, it gives them hope. It gives them a belief. It ignites that holy zeal in their heart, especially when you're reaching out to people and aiding and assisting them in ways that are not being broadcasted to, you know, to the world. And that's why they say a lot of times if you help aid and assist someone, you keep it private. You do not sit there and try to make a show of it, because your fame, you have already claimed your fame. You have made your 15 seconds of fame, and you probably have, you know what I'm saying, kind of been the retribution or that you would receive. You might get the retribution that you receive for such acts. And so just make sure that you know, especially when the heart gets feeling heavy, is to go out there and reach out and aid and assist, because that'll lighten up the heart, especially when you see the effects of what it does for somebody else. Not always put itself in self, but even that was the instruction your husband gave, is when you're going through something, reach out for betterment of others. So with that, I'll leave you a couple pieces.
Islam. And gratitude and peace, brother, for that special drawing, brother Bati Bey. We give honors to your scribe. Praise be to Allah, Islamism without the schism. All right. All right. Are there any other Moors who would like to come forward? Come on in, Moors. Islam, Sister Cammie, what have you to say?
Gratitude, God, man. This is Sister Cammie. I'm in Michigan. I rise, honor, and praise the great God of Allah. I honor His Prophet, Noble Ali, officials, citizens, Moors here, there, and everywhere, especially my Moorish kin. That I think of charity and being humble in charitable acts, and some for profit about charity as monetary. And I realize now that charity isn't monetary at all. When you are aiding and uplifting, following humanity in whatever way you can, when you are ministering to yourself and ministering to others, that's charity. When you help more along the way, and becoming more conscious. When you're generous and helpful, when someone is in need or when they're suffering, the doing unto others as you would like to have done unto yourself. And that ladder, as you grow and develop, you climb that ladder. In charity, not being selfish, being selfless. The ladder of growth and the crown jewels and what's really important in life. Think about that. Unconscious, about the material possessions, and you mentioned ownership of what you own, about the material possessions would be the crown jewels. And I realized that if I don't pay taxes on this house, Rome will take it from me. If I don't pay that bank, they're going to take the vehicles from me. So the ownership, to own your spirit and your soul, to own yourself as a free person or a free God or goddess, to own righteousness as a characteristic. As you grow on that ladder, it's continuous, just like studying yourself. When you study yourself, you grow a pace. And if we're in this, you should be growing a pace with every meeting, ministering to each other every day. It's a collective of ministers ministering to each other and giving their more perspective regarding these things and their measures and demonstrations. But that growth is continuous. And I didn't think about the growth. I thought about the study of self, but growing as more, becoming more righteous, the consciousness level, the more divine, and what your daily demonstration is. The soul and in the Piscean age, or Piscean living, you would die, God would judge you, and then you would go to heaven or hell. But at some point, judge yourself as more, have I been righteous? Have I been charitable? Am I putting food, clothes, and shelter last on those crown jewels? And you evaluate yourself and your character, gratitude.
In Islam, and gratitude to you as well, Sister Cameron. We give honors to your sister for that drawing. Praise be to Allah. That's what I'm talking about. The love thought is what the prophet brought. Goodness gracious. All right. Islam. Is there any other more? A few more that would like to come in here. We still got plenty of time. Keep them grand measures coming, Moors. Yeah, we want to give honors again to all of our Moorish kin who checked in, and those who will look at this measure later, because all of these things are historical. Is there any other Moor who would like to come forth and exercise their fire? We open the floor up so our Moorish kin can get a grand drawing. All right now, Moors. This is what we be talking about right here. Moors say, we don't have a platform that we can come and demonstrate. And then when you open up the floor, don't nobody want to come forth. All is well. Islam. Let me I see our Grand Mufti is in the queue right now. Pardon self, Mufti. Let me let you in here, brother. Yes, sir. Islam. Okay, brother Jehudi. I think that was Jehudi Bey that just come on there. Islam, brother.
Islam, grand man.
Islam. Oh yeah, loud and clear. The divine is.
Gratitude. I am Dr. Kuharuju Hudi Bay. Let me rise and give all praise to mighty God Allah. Let me give honors to a prophet, holy prophet, El Sharif Abdul Ali. Let me give honors to our Moorish American government, our flag, our seal and emblem. Let me give honors to our Constitution and bylaws. Let me give honors to all Moorish Americans here, there, and everywhere. Give honors to those that spoke before me and those that speak after me. Let me give high honors to you, National Assistant Grand Sheikh, for another grand class, Moorish Perspectives, Islam. Well, Assistant Grand Sheikh, I tell you, Dr. Cammy and others have, they more get you to thinking when they come give their measures. These powerful measures, and I always speak about how much it uplifts me and motivates me and empowers me with their thoughts and their love and their measures and their knowledge and wisdom. And when I think about this latter strong Assistant Grand Sheikh, I think about our unity of our people and how it takes all of us to build that ladder to get us up out of this, this misery and suffering that our people have been going through for so long. And we know the power that our unity holds. We've seen it. We see it every day. We've seen it with the Tulsa and other, with the so-called Black Wall Street. We've seen how our people came out of wretchedness, out of slavery, and built businesses, built homes and cities. The inventions that they never told us about that our Moors invented. So many things that everywhere we touch around this world, we have been successful and we have been strong, powerful. Music, fashion, you name it. We have dominated everything. But when it comes to unity, somehow we become weak. We become separated. Thinking about that selfish self and what we can gain for ourselves. No one can get anywhere by climbing anywhere by themselves. Islam. We can only gain those highest heights when we do things together. When the Moors come into the knowledge of who they are, when our brothers and sisters come into the knowledge of who they are, they open up a consciousness of divinity that no one can take from them. How powerful are we when we're together? How powerful are we when we put our hearts and minds and our thoughts and our wisdom and our love together? Nothing can stop us. Islam. And when we help one another, we're not just helping one another, someone else, just because we think it's a good thing to do. But when we help someone else, we help ourselves. There's a connection there to our great God Allah that cannot ever be broken. It's a connection that we have to our Creator when we help one another. And our family are crying out to us every day, seeking something, somewhere, somehow, someone to come and help them. We're here. We're here. The Moorish American government is here. This so-called system isn't going to help our people.
It never has. That's not their agenda. Their agenda is the opposite of helping us. So who are going to save our people? Who's going to save us if we don't save ourselves? It's time to put all that selflessness, all that ego tripping away. Our brother, you spoke on our brother Conway West, coming at him because he spoke the truth. Yeah, he has said a lot of stuff that I don't agree with, but the brother was speaking truth. And we know what happens when you speak truth to these Europeans. They don't want you to know it. They don't want you to know because they hid it for hundreds of years. They hid the knowledge of who you are. They hid your God away from you. These people have nothing to do with for us. We have to come together. We have to unite, and we have to build that ladder together. Islam, and the only way we're going to come to the true freedom is that we unify. Islam family, I'm not going to hold up too much time, but we love you. We love you, Morris America. We love you, family. Those that are listening in, come home. Come home. Islam.
Yes, sir.
Peace and love.
Peace and love and gratitude. We give honors to you for that grand measure, Brother Jehudi. And I'm going to tell you, like, you know, I used to hear the elder say it back in the day. I heard that. You know, and that's a powerful measure. You know, it's something else. You know, when it comes to dealing with our Moorish kin family, but what we find out is, like, you know, for the few that's out here willing to get on the front line, you know, most of our people complain about them being on the front line, but yet they sit back and they slouch up and don't want to do nothing. But when somebody come on the manifest, yeah, you know, they be everything but the child of the great God Allah, you know, selfish and, you know, all types of stuff, you know. That's what they saying about the brother Kanye, you know, all types of measures, you know what I mean? And then they sit back and do nothing. So, you know, that's just the way it is. Prophet Noble Drew Ali talked about that when he deal with industrial acts. Most of his critique and competition came from those who wasn't doing nothing. You see what I'm saying? But every time they see you do something, you know, then they feel like that reflect on the nothing that they do. And so that becomes a negative in their eyes. You know, and so that's what's going on with Kanye. You see? Yeah, he had the courage to demonstrate. I would say this. I think the brother was sharper, you know, than to go about the measure the way he went about it, because when he on that platform that he on, he got to put security on himself. You know what I mean? You can't just jump out there like that. Yeah, we know what you are, but they coming at you ASAP. Because you, especially when you done won over the majority of the masses. Yeah, so they gonna come at you ASAP rock, as they say, the young generation said. You know, and that's why ones have to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, as the little country song would say back in the day. Who that was, Kenny Rogers or somebody? I don't even know. But, you know, nevertheless, you know, yeah, you got to know how to choose your battles wisely. That don't mean you got to run, tuck your tail, and none of that. Don't mean you're scared. You know, you just have to be strategic with what you do, you know, because it is a war for the hearts and minds of our people. It ain't got nothing to do with bloodshed. You know, well, blood end up being shed somewhere down the line, but the real war is a silent war, you know, and it's being fought, you know, with well, quiet war is being fought with silent weapons. You know what I mean? And so from that special standpoint, that's what our people have to get up out of. And we just want to say gratitude, you know, in a powerful measure. Man, ooh-wee. Praise be to Allah. And honors to his holy prophet, our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. All right. Is there any other more who would like to come forth and exercise their fire? Let the world know you're alive, Moorish kin. Come on up in here and breathe some of that holy breath on our Moorish kin that's in need. If we don't do it, then who? If not us, then who? Okay. See, that's what we talking about right there. All right now, Moore. Now, let's think about it like this right here. If some of us don't come to the manifest and demonstrate, then how the people going to get this message? All right now. Don't say nothing when y'all see my officials out there on the front line. Because if we silence other lambs, ain't nowhere in the world the people going to get this message, family. You know what I mean? There's three types of people in this world. Those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who wonder why they happen. Islam. Prophets say the Moors are active and not passive.
Islam.
Praise be to Allah. Yeah, I knew our sister Janet Woden Bay was going to come up in there. Islam, goddess and queen. What have you to say?
Islam. I'm Dr. Janet Woden Bay of North Carolina. And that first rise with the highest praise to the great God Allah. Give honor to our prophet Noble Drew Ali, our holy prophet. Our prophet that came 5 times stronger because he had to deliver our people from mental slavery. I give honor to everything more. As one, our national grand officials, our divine constitution and dialogue, angels, officials, and all our Moorish kids. And I give honor for being in his solemn assembly. I give honor to be able to proclaim my nationality. I give honor because I know the truth. And Allah has allowed us to come and unfold into righteousness, right standing with him through our prophet Noble Drew Ali. And because of that, he's also given us this, our gross national product, which is wisdom. Wisdom to love. Wisdom to be at peace. Wisdom to know the truth. Wisdom to proclaim. And wisdom to be divine. And because of that, he taught us how to love. It taught us how to give. It taught us how to help those who can't help themselves. It taught us how to be the legend that we are bringing. It taught us that he gave us something that we can shout about. And that's why we don't mind being Moors. We don't mind being a part of this Moorish American government where we come in nightly to hear a word from Allah. To give our legends, to give back to the atmosphere. That things will be changed, creation can be made. Climbing Jacob's ladder, as the brother said, it put a song in my heart, in my spirit. I wasn't even singing anymore. Now I'm in the Moorish American government. I can hum a tune with gladness. I can be that measure. I can be that love. And I can be with my Moorish kin. That's what I want to express tonight, that I'm happy to be in this government. I'm happy and grateful and honored and thankful that I have found my family. Islam, thank you for allowing me to speak. Very good.
In Islam, goddess and queen, we give honors to you, gratitude for that drawing. Praise be to Allah. We got our brother on here, sister, we want to give honors to you for that drawing. And our brother ATOM 161, we want to give honors to the brother and a guest, and give our people a voice, because you have a voice here. No matter who come here, all is well. Peace and love. We just ask that our family come in and keep the ad hominems, out the measure, and just give it what it is. And this brother good in his measure. So, brother ATOM, what have you to say, brother?
Man, can you hear me, brother?
Oh yeah, loud and clear with divine ears. Go ahead.
Oh, right on. Peace, Islam to the brothers and sisters. Man, I just been noticing, man, how well you brothers and sisters build on this platform. And it's funny because who would have ever thought that I would be on this platform years after, coming into the Masonic order, because I know a lot of people, and the reason I'm saying this because people need to understand that we love you, brothers and sisters. There is no real beef between Prince Hall Masons and Moorish brothers and sisters, and like you all been saying, Moorish kin, because we are a family. And I think it's time for us to understand, man, we need to bridge that gap and understand that if you guys or anybody is teaching, it's okay for us to chime in and help one another, man, to get this information, because it's all about us bettering ourselves, And the reason why a lot of times I talk about this, because I had a inner, not hatred, but I was wondering why for years I would run into a lot of brothers and sisters, and this always seemed like it was a back and forth debate about doctrine and teachings. But when I realized, if you really listen, and you listen, like we talk about in the Masonic order, practicing a listening ear, and then eventually you practice an attentive ear. And by doing that, you hear what you need to hear, and it touches the heart. They say, what is it? Well, reaches the heart, or teach the heart, reach the heart, whatever. And when you guys are talking, or your brothers and sisters are demonstrating, man, I'm getting a lot of good information, and I'm honored that to even be on the platform to even listen, because listen is a gift. And I don't even have to really hear what I didn't even have to necessarily get on here, but I can already tell there was something about the uplifting of our people. Every time I've heard something on this platform, it's been something about uplifting our people, and rather to be dealing with the information that was brought forth and the brothers and sisters that chimed in after the fact. To hear you guys, or hear the brothers and sisters talk about it in this measure, even the language, to be honest with you, I can tell the difference between when you're being taught between different races and our brothers and sisters. The language is even different. Now I'm saying the word demonstration. I'm saying the word measures, because I can tell that that's something that relates to us as kin, or Moorish kin, so to speak. So, we are in a battle, man, for righteousness, and we have to do what's necessary for us to get to that point. So if we need to connect with one another, not just on here but outside, because I'm one of the individuals that I believe in, because when you initiate, or like we say, come from schools of learning, that it's important for you to take the information, especially if it's something that's beneficial for your inner soul. I'm an individual that love to learn, and I have to understand that when I hear something, not to always listen with an ear of negativity, but an ear of understanding. Because if I don't do that, it may be something that's very important that I may miss. And for me, that's disingenuous. How can I say that I'm a part of humanity and helping the fellow man and woman, but when we're teaching and you guys are building on something positive, and here I am, I'm going to down it, or not even give it understanding. So a lot of times, hello?
Islam.
Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody called me. I tried to get off the phone. But yeah, so I just wanted to just put that out there, because we are always in the realm of teaching and understanding. And with that being said, man, I'm just getting so much information. My spirit is becoming a lot more in tune with what the teachings are. I'm even considering, going to that next level, but I have to make sure that the brothers and sisters here in my region, that I can build with them and get to that other stage. But as of right now, I'm just okay with just sitting back and just learning and listening, and then eventually I'll get to that point. But in the meantime, I just want to put it out there to the world, man. The brothers and sisters of the Masonic Order, which PHA, we love you, brothers and sisters, and we family. So I want to just put that out there so people can stop thinking that Masons and Moors are at it. We're not at it. We may have a little slight differences, but in reality, it's the same. So I just want to put that out there, man, because it's been on my heart to say that, man, because I'm tired of people thinking that we don't build together. We do build. A lot of my family and brothers and sisters are all part of the Moorish family. That's the bottom line, and I just want to put it out there, man, that we are the same. And anything that you all need, man, please feel free to ask any questions. I don't have no debating topics because it's nothing to debate. The teachings are powerful. It's nothing to debate, especially when it's something that's, pure and it's powerful. And, what I'm saying, it's reaching and giving us the mindset to look from within, because a lot of times, another thing we talk about is the heart. The heart has to be pure in the understanding the things that we are trying to accomplish. And and so many times we was talking about how people out here on the front line, like you was just talking about, but if your heart is not there, you know what I'm saying, it can't really you can't really do what you need to do. My heart is pure, so that's why I have no problem. And right now I seem a little nervous because I like to make sure that I'm saying things, because this is something that people are going to look at after, this is off. So I want to make sure I'm speaking to the family, because a lot of people are paying attention to what we're saying. But as a Prince Hall affiliated Mason, I want you guys to understand that, what I'm saying, we're on the same page with you. We're in the same fight with you. And we're teaching the same type of things together. And I hope one day that we can let the world see that we can come together on this platform and let people see us build together, because we most definitely are connected, whether people believe it or not. Islam,
brother. And one thing when it comes to dealing with the Moorish American government, we give honors to you, brother. We have never been confrontational when it comes to our people. Be they Prince Hall, be they NOI, be they 5%, New Wabian, whatever they may be. The only thing we have been telling our people, me and you talked about this before, is it's time for our people to come together under government, because organizations, have never freed our people. And that don't take nothing away from the organization. We're just saying an organization is not a government. And sometimes our people can't get that. So they think when we say certain things, we say it, out of a spirit of rivalry. I know what time it is, because me and you done built on here before. So you know how we build, and that's why you building like you building. But many of our people, and it's not just dealing with, anybody Masonic, it's even dealing with the Moorish paradigm. You got different Moors in the Moorish paradigm that don't know the difference between an organization and a government.
Yep.
So we go across the board with that demonstration. You know what I mean? We trying to get all our people, be they the MST of A, be it the Nation of Islam, or some of the other groups I mentioned earlier, to understand, okay, well, we see our people saying I'm the nation of this or the nation of that, nation of Israel, nation of Yahweh. Nothing wrong with who you feel you are, expressing yourself. But when are our people going to come together and demonstrate self-determination, under their own government, under their own flag, under their own seal? They don't mind being under the United States government.
Nope.
And yet they complain about what's being done. So what's the issue with them coming together under their own government? So we give honors to you, brother, for this drawing. And I look forward to hearing from you again. Peace and love, brother. You're welcome here, as all of our people are. And get the message out there, brother. And we say gratitude to you, brother.
Peace.
At this time, yes, sir. Peace, love, and law at all costs. And we're going to call forth our officials at this time. chat, the live screen. I'm back, Moors. Yeah, this demonstration has shut down. And Grand Mufti, I see you speaking. So you let me unmute you and make sure your mic is good.
I was just saying I couldn't hear you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was just coming back in. It dropped me off for some reason, but we bite. So at this time, hold up real quick here. Okay, there we go. So at this time, let us call forth our other Moorish kin who will. Okay, it dropped off again. Islam. Is there any other Moor who would like to come forth and demonstrate their special measure? Praise be to Allah. Okay, Islam. Well, praise be to Allah. What we're going to do at this time, Moorish kin, like we said, we're going to go to our officials. Now, what in the world is... Let me get this garbage up off here. Now, see, this is what I'm talking about. This who probably got me kicked up off of here. I don't know why y'all come up. We don't do that type of foolery in here. Goodness gracious. We're going to block you too, just like we did the last person. All right. So at this time then, since it wasn't any other Moor that like to come forth, we're going to call forth our Moorish kin and our officials. And we'll start with our beloved goddess and queen, Sister Alseta Moon El. Islam, you there, goddess and queen? We know she's most definitely about the business of our Father God Allah. Well, okay. Let us call forth then, at this time, our Grand Mufti. We know he on the manifest. Islam, Dr. Khonshu Mark Heru Bey, Islam and the tribe. Islam, Grand man.
Islam. Gratitude, Grand One. We rise first and foremost, just giving all thanksgiving, adoration, worship, and praise to our Father God Allah, the great God of the universe, the most beneficent and the most wise. And we give the highest honors that we can give to his prophet, our prophet, the last prophet in these days and in these times, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the savior of humanity. We give honors to his forerunner, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and we give honors to his government, our government, the Moorish American government, the government in which we live. According to Act 6, we give honors to the officials of this said government, our divine ministers, with angels, Mufti, Royal Council, our secretaries. We give honors to our citizens, the Moorish Americans. We give honors to our flag, our divine constitution and bylaws, our Holy Quran, our Grand National Seal, our Grand National Emblem, our Book of Fire. We give honors to everything that is Moorish. We give a special high honors to you, National Sister Grand Sheik, for bringing forth the Moorish perspective this evening. We give honors to all of our Moorish kin who have spoken before us, to our Moorish kin that will speak after us. We give honors to you, angels. We continue to give honors where honors are due and honoring all true and divine prophets. And yes, we give honors to our ancestors as they have come before us, leading the way, and we are them today without doubt or contradiction, because no one has the power to change man from his descent nature. And praise Allah for that, and praise Allah that we come from the source, the great divine source, and so that we know that our nature and our inheritance is that of good, as we come from the Father God Allah, and we know God is good because God is infinite and abundant, and that principle of infinity and abundance only comes with multiplication and those things which is considered good. Negative or deconstructive or chaotic principles bring about negative, which would bring about the total destruction. And so saying that is because we're looking at the good in the work that we do for others builds that ladder strong. And that's part of the nature of man itself, is being good. And how it builds a ladder strong is because everything starts, as we know, from on the spiritual plane, and then comes into the manifest. You know, it's for us to look at, for example, it's just like most of us have been out with a group of people when we were younger, and somebody didn't have any money. And that one person that doesn't have the money, you know, is not having the best of time, is one that now is put in a position of maybe doing something they wouldn't normally done if they had the ends and the means to enjoy it just the way everybody else is enjoying it. You know, if you go out there, and so the example is, now that the person that doesn't have anything, doesn't have enough, now is when you have to look out. They might want to steal, or you know, they might do something that's negative because they're in the situation by themselves, and one has not helped them along the way. But if when you go and if you as a group consider, hey, we all going out, we also have fun. If we all gonna go out, then you know, no one should be wanting. And then there's no negativity. Then everything is just an enjoyable experience. And to me, that's the same as the lesson. You know, when we look at the good that we do for others, it builds a ladder strong for one to climb up. Because now, when this person who didn't have enough or have the same amount as everybody else comes into the situation, and is now taken care of by the collective, now it's a positive thought pattern. As one said, we can get rid of negative thought patterns and get into a positive reinforcements of how we deal with each other. And for that, that's where one want to work on their character. This is where one, you know, stays sincere, stays grateful, stays in line with the community that's taking care of them. And that's very important for us as a nation of people to continue to realize that, hey, what paying it forward is not like just a slogan. It's a way that you stay on what we call in our government, in our nation, the credit side of life. Now, we want to stay on the credit side of life, not just on the credit side of some kind of financial system, but the credit side of life. This is why, you know, our ancestors gave forth our offerings. You know, you took care of the poor. Like, you are putting the good energy for it, putting it out, and it's always going to ripple and come back. But if you put something else out, yeah, that's going to ripple and come back. So we want to stay on the credit side of life. We want to stay in debt. We don't want to stay in slavery, in the slave thought pattern. We want to stay on the side of, you know, abundance, credit, and that's comes from the good in which we do for others. It comes in the good in which we want to initiate in our everyday actions and thought patterns as we interact with each other as a people, and realizing that you are not my enemy, that I'm not your enemy, that we in the same boat. As the chairman would say, it's like you got two prisoners in the cell, they unlock the door, but you still in there arguing about who got the top bunk. The door is open. All you gotta do is walk out of it. Not continue to argue with each other about the space in which you've been entrapped. You know, so that's what we want to continue to do, is work towards that thought pattern. You know, take this divine lesson that you have brought forth this evening to the grand sheet and move in that thought pattern as a more perspective that, hey, the good that we do for each other is going to pay off in the end, because it's going to allow one to climb the ladder, 12-step ladder, 3-step ladder, and see things from a grander view. And in that grander view, bring forth more treasures from Allah that will bless us all, because now we're not looking in the gutter. We got our head down in the gutter. We didn't climb the ladder, and now we're looking from a height where we can see over the field, and we can see what's beyond, you know, the regular perspective. So This has been a grand class. Gratitude for the class because we can build on this, you know, all night. It's just a grand drawing as we move forward as a people, considering the knowledge that we are accumulating this at this time in the age of Aquarius. That we all coming upon the knowledge, and it's all saying, all pointing back to our unity as a people. Islam. Gratitude to you once again, and gratitude to you, Moorish America, for being here with us, giving us your time, your attention, and respect. Islam.
Islam. We give honors to you, Mufti, for that drawing. You know, very powerful measure. Yes, sir. It don't get no plainer than that. Goodness gracious. We see our family in there. We had one that asked this question. We'll address it briefly. They say, well, what about the national side of the movement and enforcing the Constitution? What faction of the MST of A is doing that? You know, and you're actually looking at the enforcing of the Constitution of the Prophet right here, you know, creator of the boundless universe. You know, we're not here to enforce the Constitution of the United States of America. I know many have been told that, my family, but that, you know, is even though our people being sincere and thinking that, most of them have been sincerely wrong. You see, so there's no need for us to enforce the Constitution of the United States of America, or else the prophet would have never said, he wouldn't have made this statement. He say, I'm gonna leave a European here long enough to teach you Moors how to run a government. That's what Prophet Noble Drew Ali said. So he wasn't talking about enforcing United States law. He was talking about his own law that he had brought forth, unfolding from the general aspects of that and being membership into being citizens of your own government. You know, you cannot try to enforce the United States government outside of that. That's virtually impossible, you know, when it comes down to dealing with that, because first of all, what you look like standing up there in a missile silo with a slingshot, you know, thinking you finna shoot them up, bang, bang. I'm just speaking in general, family. You know, you cannot protest your way out of this. The only key of coming out of this is actually breaking away and establishing your own government. And we call that being successionist of your own Moorish American government. You see? So gratitude, family. Want to give honors to all of you, you know, for that thought. And well, let us call forth our Grand National Secretary of the State, Sister Hatshepsut Rakat Ma'at Anpu, Tutankhamun Bey. Islam, you got that scimitar on deck over there, Grand National Secretary of the State.
Praise Allah.
Islam. Islam.
First of all, we rise, giving all praises to our Father God Allah, giving honor to our Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the last prophet in each day of the time, giving honor to our Moorish American government, all of our officials, staff, the angels, muftis, divine ministers, most especially our Moorish kin. Giving honor to all Moors that spoke before me, all those Moors that will speak after me. Giving a special honor to our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shadwa Menti El Mohamed Shepsuel, for opening our meeting and pointing from law. Also to our National Grand Secretary, State of Indiana, Dr. Sayanati New Hector Bruel, for taking registration. Also for reading our subject chapter for the week. Giving a special honor to our National Assistant Grand Sheikh for hosting a Grand Moorish Perspective class this evening. Our subject matter being I-19, the good that man for other men shall do becomes a ladder strong, on which the soul may climb to wealth and power and fame of Allah's own kind that cannot pass away. I tell you, Dr. Shahi, when you were speaking about the ladder, dealing with the 40-foot ladder or the 60-foot ladder, etc., and how most people make a demonstration in reference to not too many of our people want to be climbing on ladders and things of that nature. Well, that's coming from a manifest perspective, and praise Allah for that analogy, because when we look at the various ladders that we have here that the Prophet brought to us, our Moorish American government, it takes, first of all, recognizing the fact that you don't know and that we're here to learn in these sacred groves.
when we look at it from the aspect of here in the West, they try to keep our people dumbed down, not to question anything, not to think, etc. This is why I give much honor to our Prophet Noble Drew Ali for, in essence, bringing us the truth. Recognizing the fact that we have a nationality and everyone has a right to a nationality. Ours is Moorish American, and also our divine creed, that divine path of where we are able to go back and hook up with our Creator, our Father God Allah. So there were so many different degrees in our special chapter this evening, and we see a snapshot of Yehoshua, how he had to master a particular test, and in this particular chapter is dealing with one on faith, and the things that he had to go through coming from his own lower mindset in reference to this special test are the things that we have got to conquer here on this plane in order to be able to unfold into our God state. So the thing that struck me is that the consciousness that we have, recognizing the fact of who we are, that we are a spirit and a part of the great God Allah, these are indeed treasures. And it's up to us to be able to use it in the right manner. We're here to aid and assist our Prophet in the uplifting of fallen humanity. So in the subject matter that you brought forth, the two words that stood out to me were the good. You know, and exactly what does that mean? How are we going to demonstrate the good, which brings forth treasures that man cannot see with their carnal eyes? So the Prophet brought us the 5 highest principles known to man, which are love, and we're speaking about love divine, not that carnal love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And part of our duty here in our Moorish American government is to aid and assist our Prophet in the uplifting of fallen humanity. Man fell when he wanted to gratify his lower desires, etc. So now we've got to work our way back. If we are indeed the children of our Creator, our Father God Allah, then the same attributes that the Creator has, these we have. But too often, because we want to listen to something outside of the self saying that we were born in sin, nothing could be further from the truth. But we are a divine and holy people. So it's time for us to get back to our forefathers' ancient state of mind. Our nature is to aid and assist one another. This is what we are about as a people. And when we come to the realization that, if you see, as a grand sister spoke to me before in reference to the lesson that she learned, if you see that somebody doesn't want you in their house, get your own house. And this is where we're talking about aiding and supporting one another, having laws that are conducive to help one build that pure and clean nation that our Prophet speaks about. So when we look at the good, we're speaking about something that is virtuous, dealing with that path of righteousness, doing things that we know that our Creator would be pleased with us, being a friend to mankind, reaching and giving that helping hand. How can we aid and assist? We've seen our grandparents, those that lived through depression. If I had food and the neighbor did not, then we share that. Now we're speaking about food coming from a spiritual level, being able to feed from the ethers of one's native plane, which is spirit. This is the food now that we're speaking about. And when you get that divine food, then in essence, it will help you be able to go through the things that's on this manifest level. You know, the ills, the homelessness, the hunger, etc. But the mindset has got to be on point first, and then everything else will take care of itself. I also looked at it from the level of when one demonstrates love divine, and then we're not speaking about loaning love, where if I do something for you, you do something for me. We're not talking about having strings attached. We're not talking about doing things, as the God that spoke about earlier, doing things for show or having some evil intent behind, you know, trying to demonstrate from things on a selfish level. When you look at the word Sever, we're dealing with selflessness. That means that you're putting others, you want for others what you want for yourself. So the question that we have to ask ourselves each and every day is, what exactly is the true value? Is the true value trying to amass a lot of wealth here on this plane, where you can see the economy is up, down, etc. That thing has a beginning and it has an end. Or are you trying to amass wealth with things coming from an infinite level? Things that you cannot see with these carnal eyes. They are of more worth and value than the things that you can see on this manifest plane. So we've got to recognize the fact that all of us are going to be tested. But it's what you do with that. But when you look at it as a lesson to be learned or a degree to be conquered or mastered, recognizing the fact that we all have got to be able to discern our own strengths and weaknesses. That indeed is the blessing that I see. So each and every one of us have these virtues and talents from the Creator. How are we going to put these things to use to be of a benefit to one another? That's what being a nation is. A nation is no more than family working together. You know, and it's time that we put aside the negativeness, competition, hatred, jealousy, and things that have never done us any good, but has always harmed us, and come together under the umbrella of love, where in our unity is our strength. So I want to give you much honor, Dr. Shahi, for this grand measure. And when we recognize the fact of us coming together in love divine, then this in itself puts a spirit of protection over us all. So gratitude, Moore, for calling me forth. Much peace and love to all of my Moorish kin. Our chairman's on a mission this evening. Grand class. Peace and love.
Islam, Grand National Secretary of the State. Did you say get rid of that Negrotivity? Islam, Grand National Secretary of the State. Well, you already know that's the most powerful measure, Grand National Secretary of the State. And, you know, we definitely trying to give it to our Moorish kin because that's where we mostly fall by climate. Because you have it what they thinking it's about chasing the wealth on the manifest, but what happened when that little money machine break down over there? Right now, you can't even use a dollar bill, you know, to rent a car. You know, as greedy as people is, you got to have a card in other places too. You know, it's terrible. So we need to be worried about, well, what is our own currency? You know, are our people even thinking on that level? Why they so busy, like you say, trying to amass piles of money? I tell you, it ain't gonna do no good when you have to burn it. So we just say gratitude. Man, I love my Moorish American government. We want to give honor to our Grand National Chairman, Dr. Akin Acting Pert M. Heru, Tutankhamun Bay. You know, and also mentioning, you can't mention him without talking about the exhuming of a nation. So anybody out there that's listening to me within the sound of my voice, you know, if you would like to read one of the most magnanimous and sublime books in the world, get your hand on the Book of Fire. You know, because it's burning up falsehood, root and branch. You know, that's truth burning up falsehood, root and branch. Did they say in the Grand Corrupt, knocking the brains out of falsehood? So want to give honors, and if you want to get that particular book, The Exhuming of a Nation, the autobiography, the only true autobiography of Noble Drew Ali. Everybody else wrote they was guessing at the truth. You know, so you can get a copy, and you know, you call 434-676-1555, 1555. You know, get you off that slave ship that John Hawkins had. You know, so reach out to Act One, reach out, and you can get the Ortiz compound. Oh, I think they may be on hold for the moment, but you can get the Quran set, you know, the medallion, lapel pins, flags, all of that, you know, in the auspices of your Moorish American government. And we give honors to you, Creator of boundless universe, for your humble response to what we brought forth, because it's love, family. You know, and you're welcome here. So we look forward to hearing from you too. All right. So at this time, let us call forth the Godhead, you know, and we say that because that is indeed the grand man, our national grand sheik. We call him the conqueror, you know, and he earned that title. Trust me. He is the conqueror. You know, our national grand sheik, Dr. Serapis Rael, Islam. You there, grand man? Yeah, I Sheik a minute, because sometime I know his apparatuses be kind of messing up over there. I know he tried to call me. I just found my apparatus. I messed around and left that demonstration in the marketplace earlier. Islam, is our grand Sheik on the board?
Brother Grand Sheik, I see you on the board. If you're speaking, we can't hear you.
Yeah, he might be trying to get through there, and they just, you know how it is. They just kicked me
Right.
clean up off the panel a few minutes ago. Goodness gracious. We give him a few more minutes.
When the conference call signed, the brother's unmuted.
Okay, Islam, Sheik, if you want to speak, you unmuted, grand man. You can come forth. Well, all right. Praise be to Allah. Well, we know he's most definitely about the business of our Father God Allah. And you right there with him. So what we gonna do is what we supposed to do, is pull up. And so we want to give honors to everybody that was here and everybody that demonstrated tonight. We just say gratitude to you, peace, love, and law to all of you. And at this time, we're going to take this demonstration up in the third heaven. Even though we already there, we're going to go high in the elevation.
I'm trying to get there now.
Oh, there you go.
Brother
Islam, Sheik.
Got you.
Oh, man.
The don't have to want for nothing in the long run. As one probably said, we're moving, have moved by the United Nations. Get ready for that. That's getting ready to unfold, and the ones that naysayers, stop trying to beat the prophet. You're not gonna beat him. You just stop that, And we see what you're doing, and it's not good. You keep messing with them babies, and I'm talking about the grown Morris National, who may not know and trying to find out. But those are children, my father's children. You don't get your up from the flow up. And you won't stop that, Be about your business of raising our people and bringing our people to that conclusion that the only way the world can live is to get up under his own vine of victory and to be free and not have anything to worry about. Other than that, this is a short summary of the advice that I would share with you. This is a study, a lifetime study. One say, well, I read the book that Dr. Shaik was talking about. I read the book of Fireheads. It's not what I thought it was going to be. I read all of it. And now, I'll give you something else. You ain't read this book, brother. So, you fooling yourself. That's a lifetime story. And so we impress upon your heart instead of saving your money to buy you another Cadillac or reinforce your hot car today. Get that book because it's about your earthly and divine salvation. Long live Morris America. Much love to you all. January the 15th, 1929. A warning for the prophet to be raised in August. Islam, did you, are we closing out, Mo?
Oh, yeah. You go ahead and close out, and I'm going to close out on this end, Sheik. Yes, sir.
Islam. Reiterate. January 15, 1929, a warning from the prophet to be raised in all meetings. Like everybody in Foreign Monster was seeing all radical agitated speeches while they work and homes on the streets. Wherever peace and not destruction. I'm glad your card of European and cause confusion. Wherever your card for your salvation. They disobey these orders will be severe consequences. We have to love truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice then will take score against citizens or group of citizens or militia toward the government or the prophet of violating the divine covenant of the Lord movement will receive the reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. Our true boys will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, it should tell their garden button. He's one of the terms of things to return to the state where the prophet found you. This is all in the land movement founded by the prophet of what you are me. And if the prophet is not right, the government is not right. The prophet therefore setting out to the bad plea to all more Americans. They do their part to protect their prophet and the government. It's
by the grand Constitution and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Go in peace, boys. Much love to you. It's fun.
Islam. We give honor to your sheep.
Good class, mother. Love you, Grand Chief.
Grand class.
Love you, Sister Grand Chief.
Islam, Moors.
Love you, Morris. Grand class. Love you, Morris.
Great class.
Islam, grand class. Grand class.
Islam. Gratitude. We love you, family.
Love you, family.
Peace and love.
Islam.
Islam. With gratitude, Moors. We're gonna end this broadcast, and we always like to end with a grand draw. So mute your mics, Moors, and we're gonna give our Moorish kin a grand draw, and we're gonna take it to the next level. We love you, Moors, and stay strong and stay on the manifest. Peace, love, and law at all costs. Islamism without the schism. Let me see here, get us on this demonstration here and open up. One of my favorites right here. We always uplift our Moorish kin with that demonstration now. Okay. There we go. Let's see.
These are actual facts. Angels and demons, Illuminati and Judas goats. Elite minds of our own who turn cutthroat. Esplanade and betrayal. 30 pieces of silver. Merovingian bloodlines and Boulay house niggas. Who would have figured we'd be sleeping with the enemy? Let us rise and give honors to Noble Drew Ali. We used to say, but I am you and you are me. Now the reaper's your brother's keeper. He's the devil's seed. Cloud chasing in the seed. He abandoned the creed. Desire was his vice, but envy his disease. A fist full of dollars led him to his demise. Front page, it was tragic, a bloody homicide. What profits man if he gains the world but loses his soul? Feel the wrath of Allah, he was struck sevenfold. Moorish times, we span time 700 years. Principalities, world powers, diamond chandeliers, sheiks and emirs, black turbans and scimitars. Allah's will, we prevail as one under God. Moorish times, we span time 700 years. Principalities, world powers, diamond chandeliers, sheiks and emirs, black turbans and scimitars. Allah's will, we prevail as one under God. The seat of power lacks dominion when sultans depart, but immortal virtues shall remain within the people's hearts. True successors are often overlooked and crucified. Sheikh Emilia did his best to exercise his fire. Opposition from all sides forced him underground, exiled from his post but loyal to his crown. He stood his ground, but no one man can defeat the mob. He transitioned in silent historic landmarks. We came as we are, and we are as we came. We came, saw, and we conquered. MAG shall remain. These are divine instructions. Let us unite the nations. Heavenly mandates, self-determination, treaties, consortiums, covenants, holy and divine. Social duties and obligations, proclamation sign. Theocratic, supreme laws, organic design. Creative faith, deliver justice in due time.
You raise up cowards, you raise up imbeciles, you raise up good for nothings. If you cannot do what other nations have done, what other races have done, then you had better die. Can we do it? We can do it. Because any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Let me say that again. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we decided to find a leadership of our own to make ourselves free men. Babylon did it. Assyria did it. France under Napoleon did it. Britain under William Pitt, Earl of Chatham did it. America under George Washington did it. Africa with 400 million black people can do it. If you cannot do it, if you're not prepared to do it, then you had better die.
Islam, Moors, we love you. Yes, sir. High vibrations. Nothing like seeing the harbinger and the prophet together. All right, Moors.
Love you as well. Gratitude.
Islam.
Islam. Great class. Great class.
Great class.
Great class.
Islam. All
Islam.
right. Y'all put them scimitars back up in that oil over there.
Right.
Islam, Moors.
Islam.
Praise the
Islam.
Lord. Grand class.
In the
Peace and
morning.
love. Love you, Chairman.
Yeah, we love you, Chairman.
Yeah, love you, Chairman.
Love y'all too.
Love you too.